Hello everybody, welcome to Sane Game Studios. I'm Sane, I'm an amateur game developer. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. I haven't done this in quite a while. I'm going to be doing a devlog on my current project. I know I show you guys devlogs on like my sneaky platformer and like other projects like that. I've decided to abandon that project for a simple reason. This is the game that I've always wanted to make. Most of the projects that I've been working on have been to get good enough at making games in order to make this game. So now that I feel like I'm capable of making the game that I wanted to make, that made me get into game development in the first place, I am focused solely on making my dream game. And it's coming along rather well. I'll run the project right now and I'll show you guys what it's at. So, essentially it's a top-down game. My character is capable of doing quite a bit. I can attack these and pick up money. If my health is low, it will drop health. If I lower my health here, I can do that just with the hit of a button. As you can see, a little red thing, that's a heart that I can pick up. But it will only add hearts to the drop table if my health is less than maximum. Same thing with magic. As you can see up there, I have a magic meter. The only time that magic will be added to the drop table is if my magic is not already full. I do have a couple things that require magic. Oh, this is my inventory menu. All of my sprites here are absolutely placeholders. As you can see, they're very mixed matched. Like this thing here is very defined, and this one isn't. And the bomb is honestly a coin sprite that I added a fuse to. These are all just placeholder sprites that I'm using for the sake of building it. I will probably be commissioning an artist to clean this up for me when I get later in development. But I got this thing. It's called a portador, and essentially it's a portal wand. So I can use it to shoot like a portal there, and like a portal there, and then I can use it to portal in between places. I'm going to shoot a portal over here. And as you can see, I can just go between them. Rocks and pots can be picked up. Rocks, if I throw them, they will not break when they hit the ground. Pots will. Rocks will only break if I throw them into something. Another thing that I can do is I can jump down. I can also jump in the water and I can swim. And then I can jump back out of the water, and then if I shoot a portal into the water, I can enter the water that way and then exit the water. This bridge here, I'm actually really happy with how this bridge turned out. I can walk on top of it, but I can also... Oh, that was not how that was supposed to go. Still ironing out some kinks. I can also swim underneath it. Which I'm doing some pretty complicated things with depth sorting. So I have a tile map that fills like this area here that I'm walking on. And if I collide with it, it sets my height to medium. And up here, the height, the tile map is set to collide to make my height very high. And then here in the water, I have a water tile map and another height tile map that sets me to in the water, as well as setting my height to very low. And then I multiply my depth by the an enum that I have set for like height dot very low, height dot low, height dot medium. So like right now, my height variable is set to medium, and my depth is being multiplied by the value of medium. So if I walk on this, the bridge is set to low, so it has a lower depth sorting. But then if I enter the water here, my height is now set to very low, which is lower than the bridge's height of low, which means that I am drawn now underneath it. But then if I jump out of the water, I am medium again, and I can now walk on the water. I'm doing a pretty similar thing here for being able to walk in and out of this cave. I don't have the cave built yet. Actually, I don't have any other rooms built yet. I very recently brought my art in and started doing world building. I have sound effects for almost everything that I have going on. I'm honestly not super happy with my sound effects. I have a couple different types of boomerang. If I throw the boomerang, it'll return to my position. But then if I'm not at that position, it keeps going, and I can avoid it, and it will just kind of go around forever. Oh, I closed the game by accident. I have another boomerang. I call it the hoverang. I can throw it, and it will chill there. And then I can recall it, and it will chill there. Then if it ever makes contact with me, it'll be destroyed. I have a roundarang as well. And it just kind of goes around in circles. All of the boomerangs work nicely with the portals. I can go ahead and throw a boomerang through a portal. I haven't tested it in a while, and I've been doing a lot of revamping on the portal system, but as far as I know, I should be able to also shoot, I can shoot a bow through a portal. And then one thing that I can do that's actually really cool, it's something I'm actually pretty proud of, is bombs. So if I grab a bomb, and then I throw it, I can shoot it, the arrow will pick it up, send it through the portal, and when the arrow collides with something, the bomb will explode. Give you a good look at it. Right? That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. I also have this here, the ring of dupes, I call it. And it just duplicates the player. Splits you into two. And then it will also merge you back into two. It only uses magic during the duplication. You can also send one clone through the portal. I do have a question for you guys, though. This is something that I've been trying to figure out, like, myself. Trying to figure out, like, how the logic would work with it. But if I have a portal over here and a portal here, I can, walk through that portal, like, no problem, right? But then I have it so that if I duplicate myself, I'll show you, and I split them up, they're actually going to be clamped. Their position is clamped at the, see, I can't get so far away that both of them get off of the screen. But if I enter a portal, see? Look at that. It does port over and it does enter the portal, but the issue is that it doesn't it doesn't go to the portal location because it's too far away off of the screen. So I'm curious as to how do you guys think I should handle that? Should I handle it so that the portal needs to be close enough to fit both characters on the screen in order for one clone to enter the portal? Or should I do it so that if you enter a portal and there's multiple, if the one going through the portal goes off screen, it will kill the other clone? So instead of leaving it behind, it will just destroy it. Or should I just make it so you can't enter portals if the portal's too far away when there's two of you? Right? Like, or maybe like another option that I'm not even thinking of. I'm really curious. I've been really scratching my head on how I want to handle that. But I honestly just do not know. Oh, that's a new one. I haven't tried that before. That's something I need to fix. I have a hook shot. Hook shot works. Oh. I don't have the hook shot working for the bushes yet. I just added the bushes like yesterday. I wasn't going to show this off yet because I honestly don't feel like it's ready to show off. I don't have a tutorial for you guys this week, so I figured I would show you guys what I'm working on. So one thing you might notice is over in my items window here, I have 3 slots per item, and that's because I have a hot swapping mechanic. So let's load up the slots so I can show you guys what's going on with that. So at any point in time, I hit this button, it grows, the entire game stops. Enemies, I have one enemy built, I don't have it in the world right now because I need to iron some things out. Enemies will stop moving, they'll stop animating. The only thing that will keep animating is my animated tile layer as well as the player. Everything else will come to a dead stop when I do this. So I hit a button, it grows these up in the corner. I select which item, and it'll do this, and this gives me the ability to swap between the items. So I want my bombs there. Now I can use my bombs. But then if I want my, my hoverang, I've crashed this game more trying to show you guys what it's capable of than I have building it. But yeah, a lot of things are just placeholder sprites. My bombs are placeholders. My arrows, like my arrow drops, are placeholders. This rock, that's a final sprite. These bushes, they're final sprites. My money are placeholders. This pot, I'm honestly not sure about. I drew this pot myself. It's honestly not that bad. I'm considering keeping it. See, what else do I have I can show you guys here? Honestly, I feel like I've shown you guys the coolest of it. So far, this project's already getting fairly big. I've been working on it for, I don't know, probably about 2 months now. A lot of it has been building. It took me a long time to build the inventory system. This right here, just what you're looking at, and being able to do this, that's probably about 700 lines of code. To unpause the game and have it equip, there's about 1,000 lines of code that execute right there. My player state machine's probably about 1,400 lines of code, and I think right now I have about 13 or 14 different states. But yeah, everything's running on a state machine. My bow is actually, that's not running on a state machine. It is a state. My bangerangs or my boomerangs, they run on a state machine. My hook shot runs on a state machine within a state machine. For the most part, the hookshot works really well. I still have things I need to figure out. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I have the depth sorting. So like if I'm down here and I throw my hookshot at this wall, I'll do it over here, it hits the wall. But then if I'm up here, it extends over the wall. And then I was having an issue where even though it would extend over the wall, it would still get drawn underneath of those bushes because I was using depth equals negative b box bottom in order to do my depth sorting, which for the most part like worked great. The only issue was if I'm up here and something's down here, then the thing down here had a greater depth than me up here because I was higher up on the screen, even though with my false third dimensions, like my z-axis kind of idea, I am higher than that object. So I have all of my depth being multiplied by my my height variable, which is an enum that is established with a collision with the tile map that I have being built. And actually I can show you guys what I mean by that, right? So right here, these are my very low tiles. If I collide with these tiles, it sets my depth to very low. I have it skipping over where this bridge is because I don't want to be changing my depth while I'm on the bridge. I want my depth from one area to carry over while I cross the bridge. I don't have any low spots right now. I do have, like, the bridge is set to low, but I don't have any low anything really. This is my medium area, so everything that it collides with this tile map, its depth is set to medium. I have high, and that's only the steps here, and that's because I look at the depth of the collidable before I collide with it. So I'm using object collisions for that purpose. So I have actually two different wall objects here. I have one for the bottom and one for the top. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I compare the depth of the object I'm about to collide with my current depth before I decide whether or not it's collidable. So if my height is very high, I can only collide with things that are either set to very high or high. I can't collide with things that are set to medium because they're considered too far away from me. But if I'm on medium and I have something set to very high, I can't collide with that either because it is also said to be too far of a distance away from me. So I take my value of height and I minus the value of the object I'm about to collide with. I minus its height off of my height, and then that determines whether or not I can collide with it. If I minus one off the other and the result is 1, 0, or -1, I consider that collidable. So I had to set a high right here. Otherwise, when I was up here and I was very high and I came down to down here and I was medium, I could walk on top of this wall. So I needed to change that so that I'm high just for this area because then it connects me for both of those positions. I guess realistically what I could have done is I could have just made this entire wall here medium, and then I could have made up here high. But I'm still ironing out that system. In my object collisions, I have a couple different types of object. This right here is my O water, which if I go up to it and I hit my activate key, it will transition me into the jumping into the water state. Once the game's actually more fleshed out, you will require an item to be able to do that. But just for fun, let's look at my O player object. So O player actually has a lot going on with it. So this is my draw event. Actually, I don't need that line anymore. And if my state does not equal player state.hookshot, I am drawing my shadow if I'm supposed to be drawing my shadow. There's certain circumstances where I don't want to be drawing my shadow, so I have a boolean set there to not draw it, and then I draw my sprite there. There's a reason why I'm not doing draw self. Then when my state does equal hookshot, I am, depending on my direction, I'm either drawing my hookshot and then myself, or drawing myself and then my hookshot. And that's because, like, if I'm facing upwards, I want my player to be on top of the hookshot for depth sorting reasons. There honestly might be a better way to do that. I'm not sure. That's just how I've been doing it. I have a lot of scripts going on. Well, not a lot. I have a decent amount of scripts. My player utility scripts, which aren't like a whole lot. This is my collision checks, my sword collisions. This is a player act state. It's a script that I can call to perform any kind of arbitrary action. I got my ledge jumping initialization, which then transfers me into the ledge jumping state, but it sets everything up so that I'm jumping far enough and determining whether or not something is jumpable, all that kind of stuff. I think my biggest script is actually my pause inventory script. Right now it's sitting at 1,600 lines of code. But yeah, it's still fairly early in development. I'm still actively working on it, obviously. There's a lot of things that aren't working quite the way that I would like them to. I honestly wasn't super stoked about being able to walk through here. That's something that I'm going to be fixing. I don't want to be able to walk between my bushes. I want them to be considered a wall until they are destroyed. Honestly, being able to throw a bomb and then destroy that bomb is, like, not destroy the bomb, but shoot the bomb with an arrow and have the arrow pick up the bomb, and then also have that bomb be able to go through a portal like that is probably my favorite part of this game. Like, look how cool that is, right? Like, that's pretty cool. The portals were actually pretty difficult to set up. Essentially what's happening is I have two global variables. One's global.portal1, global.portal2, and then when I enter a portal, I look at the ID of that portal and I see if it is portal 1 or portal 2, and then whichever one it is, I then grab the ID of the other portal and I store those IDs in variables called, enter portal and exit portal. And then once I store both those IDs, I look at both those variables and I make sure that they both don't equal no one. Because if one of them equals no one, that means I only have one portal and I don't want to be entering the portals. And then whichever direction that the portal 1 shoots the portal determines the direction that the portal is being drawn. I have it set so that the portals cannot be spawned right on corners. It still consumes magic to shoot them though. I think it's 5 magic per portal. So I figured 10 magic to be able to initiate both portals, to be able to transfer between them. My magic is going to default to having a value of 100, and then upgradable throughout the game to be able to go up to 200. I do have other tabs set there for my pause menu. I don't have anything in them. So I don't even have, I have Q and E set for my buttons to be able to transfer between the different tabs. I don't even have those buttons active yet because I've not built the other tabs. The system tab is probably going to be the one that I'm going to build next because I'm just going to have some simple settings. I'm going to have, save game, return to menu, exit game, volume control, and controls options. We have volume options and control options where you can customize the controller map. I'm using input for all that stuff. Input is a great extension that can be used to control your player input. It's also great because it has built-in rebinding functions. It's got built-in icon functions, right? So down here, input plugins. If I go to binding icons, config, input icon, config, keyboard, I'm able to just set each individual key of the keyboard and apply it either a sprite or a string. But it's really handy. You can go ahead and just set sprites for all of your inputs. It supports keyboard, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and other miscellaneous control pads. So input's great. I highly recommend input. Super easy to use. A little bit of a learning curve for me when I was first getting a hold of it. I think I actually annoyed them on the Game Maker Discord when I was first learning. But it is awesome. I do highly recommend using input. Yeah, I figured I'd show you guys what it is I'm currently working on. I'll do another devlog soon. I'm going to iron out some of those crashes and some of the weird things that happened there. And I'll do another devlog later once I have a couple different rooms. So I have some transitions. I'm going to iron out some of the kinks that I showed here. And please, if you think of a good way or you have input on how I should be handling with the duplication and then the going through portals and the weird thing that happens there, I'd be really curious to know how it is you guys would either A, want that handled if you were playing the game, or B, if you were making a game with those kind of mechanics, how would you handle that? Because I've honestly been racking my brain, right? Like, do I just stop them from being able to enter the portal if both portals aren't within the screen, or what? Like, it's genuinely kind of bothering me. I can't figure out how it is I want to handle that situation. So if you think of a way to handle that situation, please let me know. I'm still building items for it, so I'll let you know what I have as an idea for my items. So obviously I got my hook shot. I call it the retracted grapple. A hook attached to a chain acts like a grapple, but it can also retract. Perfect for all your retractable grapple needs. I have enough slots here for 18 items. So far I have my hook shot, my hammer, my portal wand, my bow, my ring of dupes. I have 3 different boomerangs and my bombs. I was going to include an invisibility cloak so you can turn invisible. It's going to make it so you are unable to be detected by enemies. I was going to add a lantern so that in dark areas you can have I'm going to use the hole punch lighting method so you can punch a hole in the darkness. And then also use it to light torches and stuff like that. I was going to have 4 bottles, just empty bottles, that you can use, and you can fill them with either magic potion, health potion, or a really, really expensive potion that does both. I was going to have an item that facilitates fast travel, so there's going to be specific points in the game world you can fast travel to, but you can fast travel to them from anywhere unless you are inside of a dungeon. If you're inside a dungeon, it's just going to take you to the entrance of the dungeon, which still leaves 2 more spots. So I would have my invisibility cloak, my lantern, my fast travel, 4 bottles. And then I was thinking about doing 2 spells. I was thinking about doing one, calling it Spring and Stomp, where the player would jump up, do a flip, connect back with the ground. When they connect back with the ground, the entire screen will shake. It'll create a earthquake sound effect, and it will damage all the enemies on screen and send them being knocked back away from the player. And then I also thought about doing one that's almost like a carpet bomb, acting very much like Bombos from A Link to the Past, which obviously this game is very inspired by. And it would just have explosions spawn all over the screen, and it would just do a large amount of damage to all the enemies on screen. I was thinking about also having it destroy any bombable objects on screen. So if there's a bombable wall, it would destroy the bombable wall, which would also work for secret bombable walls. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. From like I said, 4 bottles, a invisibility cloak, a fast travel medallion or something, a lantern, 2 spells. And I was thinking that I was going to fill up the rest of my item roster. If you guys have any good ideas for other items that I could use and build to fill up my item roster, please let me know. I've also been thinking about, instead of the invisibility cloak, making an invincibility spell that would consume magic over time, but while it's active, you are unable to be hurt. That was another option I was thinking about throwing around. I was a little bit worried about it being game breaking. Whereas invisibility isn't very game breaking. That just gives you the ability to kind of walk around enemies, and then there would be exceptions to it, it wouldn't work on bosses. Bosses would just always be able to see you, period. But yeah. Like I said, I don't have any more areas open yet. I still haven't really finished designing this one. I do want to throw a couple enemies in this big empty space right here to give myself something to fight. But yeah, this is what I have going on right now. This is my current project. I know it did crash a couple times while I was showing it to you guys. It's in development. That's the point of a devlog. So don't criticize the crashes. I am working on the game currently. Constantly discovering new bugs, figuring them out, and dealing with them. I actually discovered, I think, 2 new bugs today while I was doing this. So I'm going to figure those out. I'm going to thank you very much for watching. Please let me know if you think the game looks cool, if you think it has potential. Like I said, if you have any input about how to deal with the whole the duplication and going into portal situation that I'm having, please throw your input down below for how to deal with that. Like I'm still trying to figure out how I want to handle that situation. If you have any ideas for items that I could throw into the game or like mechanics that should be added to the game, please again comment those down below. I can't think of everything. A single person isn't going to make the best game possible. It takes a lot of people and a lot of feedback and a lot of ideas, and then figuring out the best ones and figuring out how they all work together. That's the best way to make a game. So if you have any way that you feel you can help me, please feel free to do so. But with that, I think that's all that I got for you guys today. Like I said, I just wanted to show you what it is that I'm currently working on. So I'm going to thank you very much for watching. If you provided your input down below, I'm going to thank you very much for providing your input. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, I do Game Maker tutorials where I show you guys how to code. That's the majority of what my channel is. If you want to learn how to make games like the one that I'm making, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel and take a look at those. Otherwise, you can feel free to subscribe if you're just interested in the game and want to see more devlogs as I progress further in the game, because I absolutely will be doing more devlogs. Like I said, once I get my settings menu built and I iron out some bugs and build a couple new areas, I sprinkle in a couple more enemies, I will absolutely be doing another devlog. So please keep on the lookout for those. I look forward to hearing your input, hearing your criticisms, and hopefully hearing your ideas. So with that, again, I'm going to thank you very much for watching. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I hope you guys are having a good one, and peace out.